Hello, everyone. I'm Colin Tester of WrestleZone, joined by Jax Dane from the NWA, here to talk about NWA Samhain. So on Saturday, October 28th, it's going to be very fun, a Halloween-themed spectacular. Jax will be taking on Bulletproof Blake Troop in a submission match. We'll talk all about that. But first and foremost, Jax, how you doing today?
I'm great, man. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm good. Appreciate you taking the time here ahead of a pay-per-view weekend. So I guess we'll dive right in. You're gonna be taking on Blake Troop, as I said, in a submission match. You guys used to be tag team partners, and are gonna be clashing in this a grudge match of sorts. So what's your thought process here heading into a submission match of the show?
Oh man, I mean the my thought process is like it always is, man. Straightforward and win. Obviously, submission match is more up his alley. That's his bag of tricks, man. That's what he does. Blake Troop is a magnificent MMA fighter transitioning into professional wrestling. He was a pretty solid tag team partner, but Silvio got in his ear a little bit, made him believe he was the lead horse, the thoroughbred, the stallion of the team, and got him sidetracked a little bit. So hopefully this beating will get him back on track and make him realize that Silvio is fool's gold. I mean, I don't think Troop's the problem here. I think Silvio's the problem. So I think we'll rectify that and get Troop set on the right path.
What do you say that background? Your tag team partners, you have kind of an insider's edge of sorts where you kind of know his playbook, what he's gonna be bringing to the table, and that's gonna give you an advantage heading into Saturday.
Yeah, man. I mean, I know what he does and what he does well. He strikes well, he suplexes well, and he submits well. But at the end of the day, he's never really climbed into the ring with somebody quite like myself. I mean, I'm 6'3", I'm 292 pounds. I'm probably stronger than anybody he's ever wrestled, probably more violent and more aggressive than anybody he's ever wrestled. So I like my chances, man. I mean, obviously, the submission match isn't quite what I wanted, but I wanted anything to get my hands on him. So it's hard to tap out when you're unconscious. When I pop the trunk, I mean, tapping out's irrelevant, right?
You mentioned the submission match is more so his kind of specialty of sorts. Do you have any experience in this matches, or is this more of a new kind of thing for you, or do
No,
you have?
man, submission matches, this is brand new for me, but I've been doing this for a while, kind of a jack of all trades, or I guess you'd say a jacks of all trades. I mean, I've been in the ring with the best there is to offer, from AJ Styles to Tanahashi to Okada to Rob Conway. I mean, you can go down the list. I've wrestled quite a few very accomplished wrestlers. Former NWA World Champion, NWA World Tag Team Champion, North American and National Champion, Smoky Mountain Cup winner. I mean, we can go down the list. Champion Series winner. I've done it all. And Blake Troop, as great as he is and as great as he's going to be, he's just not there yet. But I'll welcome him to the Dane event.
You just mentioned a very impressive list of accolades there. So obviously you don't need to hit the books or study up, but do you have any kind of submissions you're thinking about maybe studying, or maybe you're going to try to implement here because it is something you mentioned that that's not necessarily in your wheelhouse inherently.
No, man. I mean, I've added Trap City, my version of the camel clutch, I guess you'd say. Once I lock that, man, it's lights out. It doesn't matter who it is or what happens. So we're just trying to get to a point in the competition where I get the opportunity to put that on. I had some pretty accomplished, well-rounded submission professional wrestlers help me learn how to lock that in, and quite honestly, that's really all I need. If I can get that one move locked in, it's lights out.
You said it was like your vision of the camel clutch. Why the camel clutch? That's a very legendary hold in wrestling. Obviously, the Iron Sheik made it very, very famous. Some of the people use it as well. Is there any inspiration there? Is it what kind of drew you
No,
to that
it's
move?
just what fits the way I go to war, right? The way I go to battle, and once I get it in and get these shoulders locked in and these traps swelled up, man, it's impossible to get out of. So let's lock that thing in and let him go to sleep. I know one thing he probably won't tap. I know Blake Troop well enough to know he's not going to give up, and I'll one better him. He knows I'm not going to give up. So I would say somebody's going to sleep if that's the way it goes.
Definitely looking forward to seeing that on Saturday. You mentioned going to war, and wrestling is war in a lot of ways. You're going in there, you're fighting it out. In some ways, doesn't always go the way you think it will. You faced Tim Storm at NWA 75, this big grudge match, and it didn't quite go maybe the way everyone thought it would. Tim, the referee stopped it pretty soon after the match started, and it was a little unclear kind of what happened. Can you take us back to what happened there, and how are you feeling in that moment?
Well, I mean, pull the curtain back a little bit. Tim Storm's a close friend. Yeah, we have a grudge match, but Tim Storm and I have competed against each other for over a decade. I have to give him credit where credit is due. He beat me for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. So Tim is a formidable opponent in any form or fashion. Just that night, I was the better man. A couple of suplexes and he couldn't get up. Didn't want to continue, couldn't continue. However, you paint that picture. That night, I was a better man. If we wrestled again tomorrow, he may be the better man. There's no doubt about Tim Storm is a legend in his NWA accomplishments, in his professional wrestling career. He's a legend in the state of Texas. He's great on commentary. He's a wonderful human being, and he's a great friend. And it's a toss-up when he and I climb in the ring, man. He's just that good.
Tim Storm, definitely a very, very impressive career in the NWA. You do as well. Obviously, you mentioned yourself, former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, National Champion, other accolades on top of that. And now here, NWA feels like it's not a new era. It's definitely a lot of momentum, a lot of changes maybe on the horizon, a lot of exciting things in the works. You've been with the NWA for you were with the NWA previously, then you came back in I believe 2020. But overall, I would say you're one of the more kind of established faces on the roster. What does it mean to you to be a part of the NWA now in 2023? Obviously, NWA decades upon decades of lineage and prestige, and now it's still making a name for itself and redefining its identity. And so what does that mean to you to still be a part of it and to be a part of that initiative?
Well, it means a lot to me, man. I mean, the NWA is the most historic, iconic, oldest wrestling company in the world today. Our roster is as good as anybody's. Our ability to compete is as good as anybody's. The new leadership, the new ownership, it's a little different than the ownership from the company that I wrestled for before. And it's just a different vision and a different strategy. And I can't confirm or deny, but the buzz is maybe there's a TV deal, maybe there's not. If there is, that's great. If there's not, we'll keep plugging along, man. I mean, I show up to do my job every time they ask me to come, and that's what I continue to plan on doing. I mean, my background in life is just hard work and grinding it out, right? So as long as they call me to come, show up, do my job, and win matches, that's what I plan on doing.
I was just going to ask, there's a lot of buzz, there have been reports about, but a potential TV deal, and that's been something that a lot of fans want to see for the NWA. I mean, it's a big step for any company to go from, I mean, right now, NWA's on YouTube, it's been a fight in the past, to if they were to get a TV deal, it's not been confirmed yet, but if they were, let's be hypothetical, what do you think that would mean for the NWA? What could that do for the product or just the brand and the company itself?
Well, I mean, just like any product that's rebranding or rebuilding or trying to bring life back into a brand, exposure is the number one thing, and then giving them quality product once you get the exposure. If Billy Corgan has us back on TV, I have no doubt in my mind that we'll be able to succeed with the exposure that a major TV network would give us. I mean, that's the advantage of being on TV, is the exposure. Yes, you can do a lot with social media and you can do a lot with YouTube and Fight TV. Those guys are great partners and we've done a lot with those guys. But let's face it, being on a national television channel is the pinnacle of what we're trying to do here. So if we do find ourselves back in that slot, man, it will have been a hell of a lot of hard work from a hell of a lot of good guys and good leadership, and that's it will be earned and deserved.
TV deal or no TV deal, what to you stands out most about NWA? And the wrestling landscape is very, very crowded, but I feel like the NWA has a very distinct product, a very distinct offering. It's a throwback style. It's kind of a old school kind of feel to it. And would you say that's accurate, or what would you say?
Man, you hit the nail on the head, man. The old school studio feel show, that's what we're trying to replicate. There's no doubt. I mean, there's no mystery there. And then the type of wrestling that Billy Corgan is asking us to present is hard hitting, high intensity, big men slugging it out in the middle of the ring. That's what he asks of us, and that's what we're good at. That's my style. That's why it's such a good fit for me at the NWA is the ability to stand in the middle of the ring and punch people in the face and get the fans involved, man. That's what I'm good at, and that's why I like being at the NWA.
You brought up the old NWA leadership versus now Billy Corgan that is at the helm, and it's been already a couple of years now. And now, as we're just talking about, potentially maybe a TV deal, other changes maybe in the works. Billy Corgan has been really putting a stamp on the company and making a lot of good changes for the brand and the product. And as someone, as I said a minute ago, you were with the company previously, and now you're here in this regime as well. What has your experience been like working with Billy Corgan? Do you have any kind of what's that experience been like? I mean, I've interviewed NWA people before, and they constantly talk about the creative freedom and feeling like Billy really gives you a chance to thrive. Has that been your experience? What have you enjoyed about it?
That very aspect that you just talked about. I mean, Billy Corgan's a little bit different than most people that own and run a wrestling company, right? I mean, he is a bona fide rock star with a legendary rock band. So if he knows anything, is how to entertain people and how to put together events that will draw and entertain the masses. And I think he was quoted as saying one time, "Let's hire the right people and give them the freedom to go do what they do best," something along those lines. And that's what I really enjoy about it there. I mean, yes, we have direction, and yes, we're giving guidance on what he's looking for, but for the most part, man, he lets us create what we want to create as long as we help him push his vision along. And with that said, it's like I said, it's a perfect fit for me. Great to work under him. He's always done exactly what he told me he would do from start to finish, from when I started until today. And that's all you can ask for in a boss.
We both talked about your decorated time in NWA so far. You're a veteran, former world champion. You're going to have this match against Bulletproof Blake Troop at NWA Samhain, October 28th. But with so much experience and so much success up to this point, what would you say are maybe some of your goals in the NWA? Is there anyone you haven't faced that you want to, or any kind of things you're chasing? Like what kind of drives you at this point?
Yeah, man. I mean, like everything, you want to be at the top of the food chain, right? That's the only reason you get in this business, is to be the world champion. Right now, it's EC3. Obviously, he's on my radar, but honestly, the most important approach for me right now is, man, I want that TV title. If I have the ability to secure that TV title, I think that almost secures or locks in my place as probably the most decorated NWA wrestler of all time. And probably we're getting pretty close to that right now as it is. But man, locking in that TV title or the US tag titles, either one, those are the things that that at this stage of my career, chasing greatness and trying to leave my stamp of my legacy and what I've done in the business. That's what drives me, man. You still want to be the best. You still wake up every day. The wrestlers are getting younger as we're getting older. So you got to train a little harder and eat a little better and work a little harder. But that drives me, man. I want to be able to compete. And as long as I can compete with the best that our company has to offer, I'll be glad to hang around.
You mentioned maybe chasing the NWA United States tag titles. Unfortunately, your team with Bulletproof Blake Troop didn't quite work out. But is there anyone you might want to try out having a team with? Is there someone you maybe have on your radar that might want to form an alliance with, or it's
man, there's a ton of dudes, right? I mean, it's just it would just be fun. I mean, imagine if myself and Kratos ended up together, right? I mean, what would that look like? That would I often think, man, that would be fantastic. Rodney Mack's gone away for some time now, but Rodney Mack's one of my very favorite people in the world. Tagging with him would be an honor. I mean, there's a handful of guys, man, even outside of the NWA roster. There's a guy named Moonshine Mantell that I think a lot of. I think he'd be a good fit. I mean, there's a handful of dudes, man, that really get it done, that see the business the way I see it, and yeah, tagging with them would be fantastic. Kratos, though, I think that would just be a wrecking crew, right? Just to, I mean, take your pick. So who knows, man? Who knows what the future holds as far as tag team wrestling right now? I'm focused on being a singles competitor, and maybe one day we'll venture back to that. But right now, it's Bulletproof Troop, and then whatever Corgan sends me to next.
Like you said, who knows what the future holds? We do know NWA Samhain will be on October 28th in Cleveland, Ohio. Will be airing on Fight. One more time, Jax, final sell for maybe your match and the show itself. Why should fans?
Oh man, let's talk about the show, man. I mean, you got Tom Latimer versus EC3. That has the potential to be one of the best wrestling matches of the year. Both those guys are fantastic competitors, extremely well conditioned, extremely accomplished. Right? I mean, you can go down the list. Headbangers are back, right? So that's pretty cool as well. I mean, to me, just the entire card, from Violent J and those guys being there, and and it's just a great to be a part of it. I'm looking forward to it. Right now, pretty focused, like I said, on Bulletproof Troop, the submission match. I think that's we're going out there to hurt each other. They've him and Silvio had said some pretty demeaning things about me, personal things about me that it's not my approach. It's not how I go to business. They've talked about maiming me and stretchering me and making me bleed and making me quit. And there's one thing for sure: they won't make me quit. So they may make me pass out, but quitting's not an option. Bleeding's going to be a big deal. I don't think they can make me bleed. Stretching me out. Come on, man. I mean, let's face it. I'm the thoroughbred here. He's chasing greatness. I am greatness. So let's see what he can do.
You heard it here first. We're going to see a great match here. NWA 75, Jax Dane, Bulletproof Blake Troop in a submission match. A very loaded card otherwise from top to bottom. Again, that's going to be on Fight TV Saturday, October 28th. Jax, where can people find you on social media so they can follow along with you as you continue your career and all things?
Yeah, man. Jax Dane Info is my tag handle on Instagram. And then you've got Twitter is at the Jax Dane, and then Facebook is J Dane Lyman. Feel free to reach out, man. Looking forward to the event. Looking forward to Fight TV and the pay-per-view. I appreciate you having me on today.